Hello everybody, welcome back to the MCE British Superbikes here in association with Pirelli at Brands Hatch. Now, if you were watching the final of the beach soccer between Spain and Portugal, sorry for the apologies, sorry for coming out, apologies for breaking in your coverage. The rest of that will follow this show live from pit lane, and we do have an action-packed afternoon's racing here for you. Let's take a look now at how it lines up for the next few hours. Next up, it's the International Classic Grand Prix UEM Cup. Old bikes out in action. It'll be fantastic stuff in just a few seconds' time. Then at 5 o'clock, it's the first Saturday race for the British Superbikes in this era of big bike racing. It's not the first of this year. We'll go to Alton, we'll have one there as well. But the first Saturday race gets underway at 5 o'clock. 5:45, focused events, KTM's RC8 Super Cup. And we'll bring you all the action live for the rest of the afternoon. Okay, let's get straight on then, because the classic bikes are out on grid, and it's time then for the International Classic Grand Prix UEM Cup. And taking us through that will be our not-so-old commentary team of James Whittam and Jack Burney.
Thank you, Tony. Here we are with the grid lined up for the first International Classic Grand Prix UEM Cup to make its appearance here at Brands Hatch. Created by Eric Saul, the ICGP series, was born actually at Circuit Paul Ricard in September 1999 in France. The first race being part of the support programme for the Ball d'Or. And these guys, off on their warm-up lap now, are on pure racing machinery from the 1970s and early 80s, 250 and 350cc Grand Prix machines. James Whittam.
Yeah, that's right. They're all 250 and 350, all in one race. You can tell. Yeah, basically the blue plates. I'm just saying that. I'm just trying to figure out. That's Ian Simpson, I think. No, that could be Burns actually.
It's Robert Burns.
This is Robert Burns. Blue plates 350. Green plates 250, but they're all out in the same race, but they're racing for separate points. Most of the bikes Yamahas, predominantly all the 350s are Yamahas. A TZ350G, the G model being the latest, that's a 1980 model. They're allowed to be 74 to 84, but basically there was no development in the 350 class after 1980. The championship ended as a world championship in 1981. So all the 350s are up to 1981. And the 250s are out to be up to 1984. They've all got to be parallel twins. There's no carbon fibre to be used or trick titanium parts. And that's it. All the things on them have to be period. And get this, Jack, there's an age limit, not an upper age limit like we're used to seeing in the super stock classes, etc. But you cannot be less than 28 years old. How good's that?
And most of them are considerably beyond that, I suspect.
Yeah.
Eric Saul himself, a member of the 250 and 350cc Continental Circus back then, winner of the Italian and Austrian Grand Prix. He's the fastest 250, but ahead of him, Lee Gourlay is the man on pole position, and he is the man who actually lies second in the championship to the man alongside him, Scotsman Ian Simpson, and then Christopher Bishop and Richard Parker rounding out the front row. Second row, Luke Naughton, Christopher Rose, Glenn English and James Agnambar. And the third row of the grid, Duncan Fitchett, the gloriously named Richard Piers-Jones, and then the founder of this wonderful series, former Grand Prix winner, first 250 on the grid, Eric Saul, and Chris Sheldon alongside him. Row 4 has Andre Gouin, Nigel Palmer, Steve Clark and Steve Bohm. But there are actually 10 rows, 40 riders on the grid, from Lee Gourlay at the front, Dave Gilbert at the back. And Lee Gourlay won 3 rounds of the championship. And I tell you what, they have been around. Le Mans in France, Hengelo in Belgium, and Rijeka in Croatia. And each time Ian Simpson was second, and then Simo won in Spa when Lee Gourlay was busy elsewhere. So Gourlay on pole position, Simo alongside him, 10 points between them in the championship, James.
Yeah, that's we're looking at Richard Parker there. Yeah, this is a lot more to do with the social side of things, like hanging about together, having a beer together, talking about the bikes, and just keeping these old bikes running. And some of them prepared absolutely beautifully.
On pole position there is number 22, Lee Gourlay, who is, and Simo alongside him reckons that something drastic must have to happen to Gourlay for him to beat him.
Strangely, all through his racing career, Simo ran number 22, but he can't run it today because Lee Gourlay's got it.
Watch for the light going out. It goes out, and these screaming two-strokes, perfect little racing machines, pure-bred racing machines, go squealing into the first turn here at Paddock Bend.
And Ian Simpson made a terrible start from second on the grid. Lee Gourlay looked to get away a lot better. I think Lee's in front now. Yep.
As they head into Druids, Lee Gourlay may have pounced and got the advantage, but I tell you what, with another round to go after this one at Cadwell Park in Lincolnshire. Number 22, Gourlay, leads the way. Simo is going to have to finish at least second to stay on par with Lee Gourlay in this series, and Gourlay's got away at the front.
Yeah, Simo's shoving his way through to second place in this race now.
Number 12, second at the moment, Christopher Bishop on the Precisions Engineering TZ 350. And as they come squeering across the top now, into Pilgrim's Drop. And number 30, Ian Simpson, pushing his way through on the BSR racing bike.
And getting pushed back again now. Simo keeps going round the outside of Hawthorns. 350cc parallel twins.
And Simo, of course, was it here that his career pretty much ended at the early age of 31 when he broke his legs again, James?
It was, yeah. I mean, Simo had so that man there, Ian Simpson, number 30. He had so many career-ending crashes that didn't actually end up ending his career. He came back and raced again, but it was his final place of racing was here at Brands Hatch, where he broke his leg. Yeah.
And in front of him now is Lee Gourlay, who I believe is a Midlander, James, leading the way. And by the way, Simpson has finished twice second in this championship. Talk about a man who deserves to win it. For the last 2 years, he's finished second to Frenchman Jean-Paul Lecointe.
Yeah, slipstream is very important in this class. You can see there the battle for fourth place. It's so important, these bikes. The 350's pushing about 70 brake horsepower, the 250 is just 60 odd brake horsepower. It's not a lot, and you've got to use the slipstream on these bikes.
Have they got modern rubber on them, James?
Yeah, they're allowed to use modern rubber. They're not allowed to use wets. They're on treaded tyres, but it is modern treaded tyres. They've got to use 18-inch rims, which rather cuts, which is the original size of the tyres and the wheels. But that rather does cut down the choice of rubber you've actually got to put on these bikes.
Number 20 is Richard Parker. He's leading that battle with Glenn English, and just behind them, tucked in, number 27, Luke Naughton on the Bats Racing 350 FTZ. And as they go howling once again down Pilgrim's Drop, there's number 12, Bishop, he's third. Behind him, number 20, Parker, number 125, Glenn English, who in a fabulous Legends parade, featuring my good friend Mr. Whittam, actually, earlier in the day. Glenn English was absolutely marvellous aboard a former Randy Mamela 500 GP Kajiva.
It is an 89 ex-Randy Mamela Kajiva, and I tell you, I've ridden that bike, and make no mistake, it sounds old as 89, and it is old, it's 20 years old, but it's still about 130 brake horsepower. And get this, the Kajiva only weighs 130 kilos. It's a very, very lightweight bike, as are these bikes.
There's number 30, Simpson. This is the battle for third place. Number 12, Bishop. Parker, number 4. And then number 27, Naughton. I'm not quite sure what's happened to the man we've just been talking about, Glenn English. He was in 5th place last time round. We complete 2 laps. Lee Gourlay leads the way by 1.3 seconds from Ian Simpson. And then Chris Bishop is next over the line, ahead of Parker, Naughton. Glenn English does come across the line in 6th place, ahead of Piers Jones, Fitchett, Agambar, and Palmer rounding out the top 10 ahead of the first Frenchman out there, number 5, Guan.
Yeah, Jim Agambar, the man down in 9th, 350 Yamaha mounted. The Londoner is actually, I've got to say, emigrating. I know Jim quite well, known as Cockney Jim to his mates in the north. He lived in Huddersfield for quite a while, buying and selling second-hand cars. He's actually emigrating to Australia next month. That's number 58, Chris Rose, I think.
Yep, it looks like one of the 350Fs has given up. Back to that battle, by the way, Chris Bishop just joined the ICGP this year. That's number 12, Chris Bishop, put in a superb performance at Spa, and he's won modern 250cc championship races, but retired a few years ago and has now just returned to the fold. Yeah, rode at Brands Hatch with the Classic Racing Motorcycle Club a few weeks ago, and got a win there with his Yamaha TZ. So a man to watch today, and he's there in 3rd place with Parker and Naughton right up behind him, James, in this battle for the rostrum.